Hello, I'm Tenderlin, a professor and a psychologist. Welcome to my talk on living wisdom. And my today's topic is respect and be respected. I feel to talk about respect and be respected, we need to have an overview of ourselves and the world, especially of all the living creatures. That way, we can have a better understanding of what is respect and be respected. As you know, all the living creatures in this universe or in this plane, we have a plant, animal, and are all human beings. And I understand and I realize that all living creatures all have a living space. And in order to have a good optimal living, all creatures are engaged in protecting their living space. And that way, they can satisfy their need. And then what kind of need they have? We see all the plants, they all need some kind of sunshine, light, air, water, nutrition, or soil, and some kind of good temperature. And an animal, what kind of needs they have? They need food, nutrition, water, shelter, habitat, oxygen, and proper temperature. How about our human being? Same thing. We also need shelter, space, water, oxygen, air, food, and a functioning nervous system. And all these living creatures in satisfying in their need for survival, they need to have some kind of territorial behavior. And what that territorial behavior? That is they need to defending their living space. And I remember when I was a small kid, I was raised up in farmland at Taiwan. And when I was a small kid, I realized when I raised the cow, carry the cow outside to the prairie to have them to have a grass to eat, and I always notice these buffalo, this buffalo, at times they always engage in kind of fight. They could be fight for the sex, for the food, or for the living space, and this is a very common phenomenon. So I notice all creatures need to protect their space. Even the plant, you can see the plant, the one plant occupy more sunshine than the plant. Same thing. And when I was a small kid, I was always, even besides seeing the butterfly fight, I always was chased by the dog, goose, uh, even the bee. You get closer to them, they try to chase me away. So territorial behavior is really common in the creature world. As far as territoriality behavior in the human world, there are too many to illustrate historically. I remember when I was in college, I read a book, a novel written by Russian novelist Tolstoy. Its title is War and Peace, and I was really fascinated by the books. I enjoy reading it because I personally experience war and peace all the time. I was born at the end of Second World War, and when I was a small kid, when there's an air attack, I always run into the cave to hide myself. That's a must. That's a survival. I need to hide into the cave. Fortunately, since the end of Second World War, Taiwan have been in peace for the past 70 years. It has become a democratic country. It's prosperous, and I'm very proud of it. However, China still claim they want to invade Taiwan. So I noticed on year of 2020, during the Trump administration, the U.S. security advisor come to Taiwan. They give Taiwan a advice and they recommend Taiwan to adopt porcupine strategy because the porcupine himself is, even though it's a small animal, but and the lion is the king of the animal world, but lion can find no way to attack porcupine. And I feel the porcupine strategy makes sense for Taiwan. And I even recently see in February 24, 2022, this year, Russia invade Ukraine. And the fighting is still going on until today. And I see Ukraine in some way adopt porcupine strategy to defend himself. And did a very good job. And looks like Ukraine is going to win this war and push back the Russian invasion on their country. And this war and peace, invasion and defending, always happen in the human world. This is true. Not only country have war and peace, individuals like you and me, in our daily life, we also have a war and peace too. Because in our daily life, occasionally we are experiencing some kind of intrusion on us. What kind of intrusion? Such as people stole us, taking advantage of us, or do something harmful to us. All those are intrusion on us. And under the intrusion, we normally, naturally, we get into a stress response. That is, we engage in a fight and flight behavior. And when we want to fight under the stress, mentally, psychologically, in our body, produce a lot of stress hormone and produce the fight response. If we can fight and win, we might have a peace again. But we don't fight and cannot win, then we got to fight. And the fight run away always generate a lot of negative emotion, such as we feel sad, we feel anxious, we feel frustrated, we feel despair, or you name it, all kind of stress, negative emotion. And all these negative emotion, we have to find a way to express them. By the way, express our negative emotion, in a sense, we are defending ourselves. And that is a necessity for our survival. If we don't do that, again, it will produce some kind of psychological damage to our health. You might suffer some kind of anxiety, depression, anything else. psychiatrical illness. And that is not going to help our survival at all. So in order to survive, we have to defend ourselves psychologically by expressing our negative emotion. We have come to the point, I can say it's really a nitty-gritty area. That is, how are we going to defend our living space, our territory? At the first, you might say, hey, I haven't got to have a strong body. That's true. You may want to build up your body. But if you are strong, it may be you have not good enough. You still need to have all kind of weaponry. And you might go out want to learn martial arts, kung fu, buy or develop any kind of weaponry such as sword, cannon, warfare, missile, all kind of things. And these get into like a jungle. And you get into all this kind of defense strategy, you might like you get into a forest. And how do you know? You get lost in the whole forest, you might be eaten up by the tiger. That's true. Therefore, we do have to have a basic understanding of what defense is all about. In my travel in all over the world, in 1 year, I traveled to China and visited the Great Wall. And that time, my understanding is very simple. I said, Great Wall is nothing great, but is the historical symbol of defense. The Great Wall means to me is just a symbol of defense. Because historically, Chinese have been always troubled by the Eurasian steppe. All these people come from desert area, they're riding horses, they are so good in attack, and they don't know how to defend themselves. Finally, they find out the best way is to build a wall. And way from the beginning of the 7th century BC, they already start to build a wall. But in 2020 to 2006 BC, the first emperor, Qin Shi Huang, started to build a 10,000 li wall by connecting all the stretches. And this wall building continued up to 14th and 17th century during the Ming Dynasty. They did a great job and extend the wall, improve the wall construction until the present day. They say they have a length of 21,196 kilometers. So it is a very long wall, but this wall really means a symbol of defense. Historically tell this is the defense line. So means whenever we living in the world, country-wide or personal-wide, we need to have a clear-cut defense line in protecting our territory. However, in our daily living, when there's an intrusion happen, what we need to do is not to build a wall, but to build a respect between you and another person. Because when you build a wall, you are really limiting yourself. from venturing out to the outside world. If you build a wall between you and another person, you cannot do any great business. You need to build a respect. And what respect really means? That means you literally speaking, you do not share the interest with another person at that point. Just when there's an interest happen, you are engaged in a dialogue with another person, and you decide not to share that interest at that point. At that point, you gain the respect. So respect is a really important quality in terms of human relationships. You and another person, you have a respect, you let the other person know at that point you don't like him or her, that's all. But you are not really insult him or reject him or any intrude him, insult him or anything like that. You want to keep the distance because on some other day there's a way to resolve the conflict and gain back him or her love back. So we only want to build respect, that's to keep the distance, not to let the person walk away from you. I'm a down-to-earth psychologist, and I teach my client to gain respect in a very specific manner. And here I'd like to give you an example. In this example one, we show you how I gain respect from you when he wants you to stop smoking in the theater. And I specifically use the method which I said in another video. That's a 5S9 of dialogue. You want to know more about it, you can check into the dialogue and listen to it. Okay? He exactly used 5-9 of dialogue to engage conversation, dialogue with you. And you eventually want to stop smoking in the theater and respect him. And I think this is a very good example you can see. And here is the dialogue between the two. And you can see here, sir, can you not smoke? You, why I can't smoke? Of course you can, but can you go out to smoke? You smoke here, it will contaminate the enclosed room. You can sit here and watch a movie. I can sit here and smoke too. I don't agree. The movie theater is a public facility. If you smoke, all people would suffer from secondhand smoke. Besides, did you see no smoking sign on the screen? Please observe the regulation. Okay, I got it. And this is really a perfect example to show you how to gain respect from another person by using 5S9 of dialogue method. Let me give you another example or show you how to gain respect from another person. This is a teacher gain respect from a student who behind her try to flip her skirt and notice and turn around her right away say to her, to him. And this is how the dialogue goes. And this dialogue teacher exactly expressed in the 5S line of dialogue method I advocated in another video. And let's see how he did, how she did. Start from I, teacher. Jack, what are you doing on me? To me. You. Is this your way of returning back my teaching? You. No, I just like to. Did you do something like this before? You. I did while I was in elementary school. Anybody ever told you this is childish and shameful? You. Keep his head down. Didn't say anything. No one in this class ever told you you are doing something wrong? You. Suddenly, kneel down on the floor and say, Miss Johnson, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I won't do it again. You can see because the teacher expressed her anger in such an appropriate way and she gained respect from the student. She gained respect. She did not build a wall because the student respect her the way she come across to him. And this is no war in between them. Definitely, the student can still come back in the next class and enjoy the class with her in the class. So respect is really important. We are not building a wall in interpersonal relationship. We build and again respect when somebody intrude us. Really, it is too much to talk about. At this moment, I still feel like to introduce you my book on Amazon.com, Winning Between You and I. I think you can get all the answer from this book. Welcome you to check it out. Thank you. See you next time.